you all so much, and we can't wait to see you next year. Let's see what Mr. Paul from Imagination Station is doing today. 3, 2, 1, cannonball! Happy VBS week! Happy VBS week!
Hey kids, welcome to our final day of Imagination Station. It's been a great week. Here at Imagination Station, how did I get there? Trust Jesus. I think that was a friendly reminder by somebody to just remember that our week here at Imagination Station, and for all of VBS, to keep in mind to trust Jesus. Because as you've already learned earlier today, the theme of today was that Jesus helps us to be good friends with each other and with Him, because Jesus will always be our friend. So we've had a great week here at Imagination Station. We've been doing a lot of things that we've discovered that are new, and hopefully you'll try some of them at home. But we'll have one more day of it today, and before we get to that, we have to talk about whom you've already met, Lawrence the elk. And of course, I have a question for you regarding Lawrence the elk. Here he is. Okay, today's question is about Lawrence the elk is, can elk run up to 40 miles per hour? Can they really run that fast? Or can they jump 8 feet off the ground? Now, before you answer that question or think about it, let's make mention how big elk are. Elk are about, from their nose to their tail, about 8 feet long. And they could weigh up to 700 pounds. Maybe even a little bit more if they have a good eating year. But elk are big, and they can have big antlers. So, do you think an elk can run up to 40 miles an hour? Or do you think it could jump 8 feet, which is above my head by quite a bit, 8 feet off the ground? What do you think? I probably got you on this one, because everybody's right. Elk can run up to 40 miles an hour. They can also jump 8 feet off the ground. Surprise! How about that? They are quite an animal. So as big as they are, they could run fast and they could jump high. And they eat a lot too. So, what are we going to explore today? We're going to explore something called magnetism. I like this thought today because a magnet can attract things, bring things together. And what does Jesus' power help us do? It helps us have friendship, to have good friends, to come together. So a magnet is a good representation of that. And I happen to have this little bar magnet here. Did I forget to say, trust Jesus? But of course, a magnet here can attract materials, but not like every material. Like, I don't know, here's a little piece of paper. No, it doesn't do much there. The reason why is because a magnet is what they call a ferromagnetic material. Ferro means iron. The material needs to have some iron in it. It can have a little bit, but it might not be enough to attract for something like this little small magnet here. Or here's even a smaller magnet with a very traditional shape, kind of like a horseshoe shape. That's a magnet. Well, these two will go together. See that? Because they're both magnets, so they both have ferromagnetic properties. If you remember, on the first day we had this big piece of steel, which I still have on the hook here. Steel, by the way, is made of iron, but it's got other materials in it too. And if you remember, this steel cylinder is quite heavy. So even though this magnet will stick to it, it's not going to lift, grabbing it by the hook, it's not going to lift it up because it's not that strong. It'll pull on the hook, but can't quite lift up this steel block because it's mighty heavy. But I'll tell you what it can do. It can grab smaller things made out of iron, like this bowl filled with paper clips. Let's see what happens when I put the magnet to it. Oh my, that was fast. It had no problem attracting all of these paper clips. Why? Because paper clips are made out of little strips of steel, which also, like I mentioned, has iron in it. Sometimes, if you have a paper clip that's plastic, it's not going to do that. But paper clips are also coated with zinc. And zinc is a material that is not ferromagnetic. But there's enough iron in these paper clips where this magnet has no problem attracting them. Sometimes it could create enough of a magnetic field within the paper clip itself. So if I put one paper clip on it, and maybe let's throw another one on there, 2 paper clips, get a third paper clip and put it at the end here, it flipped up there too, and maybe over here. And if I put one on the bottom, I'm trying to get it just to the bottom. There we go. This paper clip here is actually not touching the magnet, because this magnet is actually strong enough to create a magnetic field through the rest of these paper clips so that it's attracted to another paper clip, even though that paper clip is not touching the magnet. And even though these paper clips are actually coated in zinc, which actually impedes the magnetic field. But this magnet is strong enough to be able to do that. Let's try to do something else with a magnet. Oh, do you have magnets in your own home? You may not have one like this, but I bet you have a lot of them someplace in your house. Possibly on your refrigerator? Because a refrigerator door is commonly made out of steel, which has iron in it. You have magnets maybe like this clip here, which we have on our refrigerator. It's a duck bill. It's got a little, duck beak, I guess. And see? And this too will attract paper clips. So you probably have a lot of those, possibly on your refrigerator door. But now what I want to show you is something about where the magnetic fields are. I'm going to put down a paper clip here, which I've already tied to a string. And I'm going to tape it down, like so. I don't want that paper clip disappearing on me, so I'm going to tape it down really strong. Now, of course, I can lift that paper clip up, no problema. However, I could also draw that paper clip up into the air without actually touching it, because there's a strong enough magnetic field being created that can do that. So if I bring this, well, look at that, see? Whoa. Too far. Let's try that again. Whoa, whoa. There you go. Oh, it's attached. Let go, let go. There we go. Can magnetic fields go through other materials that are not magnetic? Let's try a few of them. I have a few of them here. First thing I have here is a piece of plastic. Let's raise that paper clip up again, okay? There we go. Let's go. Let go, let go. And let me put a piece of plastic in between it. Magnetic fields go through plastic. Okay. Let's try, how about wood? Wood is known as a thermal insulator. It doesn't conduct heat very well, but let's see what it does with magnetic fields. Here I got my paper clip hanging up in the air there, and now I'm going to put my piece of wood between it. Whoa! It goes through wood. Does that mean that magnetic fields are all around us? You bet. How about, I like this one here. A coaster, where I put a glass of water. This one's got a bear on it. Oh, the other side's got a rainbow on it. I'm going to bring my paper clip up, bring this coaster between it. Magnetic field through it. One of the things that usually can block magnetic fields, if you have enough of it, is a piece of lead. However, a lead, which this is what this is right here, is pretty thin. And even though it has the capacity to disturb magnetic fields, let's see what happens with this one here. No, because that's thin enough where it could still go through the piece of lead even. Because sometimes you'll talk about, it's lead, magnetic fields can't go through it. But if it's thin enough lead, it can still do that. So magnetic fields are all around the Earth here. And we've demonstrated how it goes through all sorts of things. How about if I do something which has a change of state? I have a match here. This might be a little tricky here. Now, don't play with matches. But I'm going to take this match here. I'll take one of them out, close this box so I can be careful. Put this match on the counter here. Take my magnet and see, well, that's not magnetic. Let's see what happens when I burn the match. Okay, there we go. It's a burning match. Burning the wood. And I'm going to let it die out. There we go. Put it back there on the ground. Look at that. What happened there? Why is it attracting the match now? If I take a match that I haven't lit, just to show you again, no, it doesn't pick that match up. It's because the head of the match does have iron in it, but in the form that it's just sitting here as a match, it's an iron oxide. Iron oxide is what we call rust. Have you seen rusty metal? When you burn it, it separates it. You have just iron residue left over. And you create carbon dioxide. That's what you exhale. Carbon dioxide is now left when you burn the match, along with iron in the burnt portion of the match. So that's a kind of a cool thing that we just learned there. So kids, we are winding down our week here at VBS. I've had a lot of fun presenting this to you. It's been a little bit different than years gone past. In fact, the shirt that I'm wearing right now, this shirt I made before my very first VBS that I ever did. And in fact, it's got my initials here, so PK. But I wasn't able to see you in person this year. But I sure enjoyed presenting this to you, and I hope that many of you watched the whole thing for all 5 days. And to try some of the experiments maybe at home. Maybe not the match one. But the idea here is to remember what this whole VBS was about. It was about trusting Jesus, as you can see right here. So kids, have a wonderful, wonderful remainder of the summer. And I hope you all enjoyed VBS. And I hope to see most of you here next year. Have a good summer.